Did you know you can actually pull up Ellis County court records entirely for free, right from your couch? Welcome to This Explainer, where we're going to unlock the invaluable, time-saving secret to navigating these public databases. Whether you're doing a deep dive into legal research, building out your family tree, or just doing some personal digging, mastering this specific skill can literally save you hours of frustration, not to mention a ton of unnecessary fees. So stick around because we're going to walk you through exactly how to do it.
All right, let's dive right in. But first, we've got to tackle a massive geographic curveball that trips up almost everyone trying to do this research. If you just open up a search engine and type in Ellis County court records, you are going to get bombarded with completely conflicting results. And there is a very specific reason for that.
Believe it or not, there are actually 3 entirely different Ellis counties in the United States. Yeah, one in Texas, one in Kansas, and one in Oklahoma. I know, it sounds a bit absurd, but each of these completely different regions is governed by its own state constitution, its own localized court rules, and its own proprietary digital platforms. If you don't know exactly which state your target county is in, you'll end up searching for records in a completely different jurisdiction.
So, to make sure you find exactly what you need, here's our roadmap for today. 1. Understanding Ellis court records. 2. The online search process. 3. Tips for efficient searches. 4. Understanding your search results. 5. Privacy and restricted records. And 6. Troubleshooting common search issues.
Starting off with Section 1, Understanding Ellis County Records, the foundation of your search. It's absolutely crucial to understand exactly what public documents you're looking at before you start randomly pulling files. So, by definition, court records are official documents filed during legal proceedings. They're meticulously maintained by government clerks, and here's the best part, by law, they're generally accessible to the public. Whether you're an amateur genealogist trying to track down a historical marriage license, or maybe a self-represented litigant just checking on a hearing date, these records are your direct window into the justice system.
Depending on the exact county you're targeting, you'll be looking at entirely different types of cases. For instance, you might be looking for major civil disputes and felony criminal cases handled by the district clerk down in Texas. Or you could be searching for historical probate actions dating all the way back to 1908, managed by the court clerk in Oklahoma. These databases house the whole shebang, everything from divorce and child support proceedings to real property and land records.
Moving right along to Section 2, the online search process, navigating the 3 states. Knowing the structural differences between Texas, Kansas, and Oklahoma really is the secret to bypassing the hurdles here. The matrix of platforms you've got to master breaks down kind of like this. In Ellis County, Texas, you're most likely going to use the Local Government Solutions, or LGS portal, which has a dual access model. Over in Ellis County, Kansas, you're dealing with the statewide Kansas e-court system. And for Ellis County, Oklahoma, you actually have 2 distinct state-run engines, the OSCN and the ODCR. Let's break down the rules of the road for each one.
Now, the absolutely crucial thing to know for Kansas researchers is that you literally have to create an account before you can even peek at a case number. Unlike other states that allow open guest searching right off the bat, the centralized Kansas e-court portal requires full user registration. It's completely free to search once you're logged in, and you'll get access to the civil, criminal, traffic, family, and probate cases for the 23rd Judicial District. But you cannot skip that initial sign-up step. On the flip side, Oklahoma offers an incredibly frictionless experience. Platforms like the Oklahoma State Courts Network, that's the OSCN, let you jump right into docket minutes and pleadings without any sign-up hurdles, or even those annoying capture verifications. It's a completely open public access system, which makes it lightning fast to track active filings and case documents. Okay, so now that we know where to look and what the gatekeeping rules are, how do we actually find what we need without getting totally lost? Section 3, Tips for Efficient Searches, Mastering the Systems. If you're tackling the Texas LGS portal, you're going to want to follow these exact 4 steps to bypass the paywall and run a free guest search. First, hit Guest Login on the home screen. Second, choose your specific office and record type, like criminal or civil. Third, enter your search criteria. And fourth, view the returned index. This specific tier lets you see case numbers, filing dates, and docket summaries entirely for free without needing any sort of paid subscription. Across all 3 counties, you'll want to leverage some pro strategies to cut through all that digital clutter. If you happen to have it, definitely search by the exact case number for an instant hit. If you don't have that, go with the party name. Always use date filters to narrow down the massive list of results, and be sure to check for alternative spellings of names.
A single typo by a court clerk 10 years ago can completely hide a record from a standard search. Finally, utilize those advanced search options for compound queries when you really need to drill down. Finding a record is really only half the battle, right? Let's check out Section 4, Understanding Your Search Results, Deciphering the Data, to figure out what you're actually looking at once those results finally pop up. You really have to manage your expectations here, especially in places like Texas. Look, free gets you the information. Paid gets you the official paperwork. Free usually means seeing the index. That tells you a case exists, who the active parties are, the attorneys involved, and gives you a chronological timeline of events. Paid or registered access, however, is what you need if you want to download the actual scanned document images, which often carries statutory page-based fees. When you're poking around inside these systems, particularly the Kansas e-court portal, the Register of Actions is basically going to be your best friend. Think of it like a complete play-by-play of the legal proceedings. It lists every single document filed, every hearing held, and every order signed by the judge, arranged chronologically. It's essentially the entire story of the case from start to finish. Section 5, Privacy and Restricted Records, What You Won't Find Online. It's incredibly important to remember that not everything is public, and we have to navigate the legal and privacy boundaries of these searches. By law, just to protect personal privacy, certain categories of sensitive records are strictly exempt from public online disclosure across the board. Under rules like the Kansas Open Records Act and the Texas Public Information Act, there's no way you're going to find juvenile offender records, adoptions, grand jury proceedings, unexecuted warrants, or certified vital records like birth and death certificates just freely floating on these court portals. And that brings us to a quick common sense note about handling this data. Just because something is legally accessible online doesn't mean it should be weaponized, you know? We're all navigating these spaces together, so it's always best to respect individual privacy and use the information you get from these databases responsibly and ethically. And finally, Section 6, Troubleshooting Common Search Issues, Overcoming Roadblocks. Because let's be real, what happens when a record just absolutely refuses to appear on your screen, even when you follow all the steps perfectly? The absolute most common issue people run into is historical limitation. If you're hitting a total brick wall on the Oklahoma OSCN site for an older case, it's highly likely because it was filed way before they actually computerized their dockets. Digital online coverage drops off a cliff the further back you go, especially for cases prior to the mid-1990s. When the online portals inevitably let you down, your actionable solutions go completely analog. Yep, you might actually have to drive to the physical courthouse itself, whether that's at 109 South Jackson Street in Waxahachie, Texas, 107 West 12th Street in Hays, Kansas, or 100 South Washington Street in Arnett, Oklahoma. You can also submit a formal written request to the clerk's office, and you might need to pay some advance fees for their staff to go manually pull those dusty paper files from the archives. As we wrap up this roadmap, we absolutely have to emphasize this crucial disclaimer. We are providing a research guide to help you navigate public databases, but this does not constitute legal advice. If you're dealing with active warrants, complex probate issues, or any specific legal challenges, please consult with a licensed legal professional in your respective state. So, what hidden histories or crucial legal insights will you uncover in your county's digital archives? I really hope this explainer empowers you to take complete control of your public records research, saving you time and taking all the mystery out of the process. Hit subscribe for more explainers just like this, and let us know down in the comments whose hidden history are you going to uncover first. Share this with anyone who might find it useful, and happy searching.